Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving into a fascinating conceptual brainstorm from recent design documents that outlines a completely revolutionary Bitcoin-first hardware wallet. We are talking about a total reimagining of how we protect digital assets. If you've ever felt like self-custody forces you to choose between getting a PhD in cryptography or just blindly trusting a flimsy app, well, this working vision is specifically trying to solve that exact problem. There's a guiding philosophy for this entire project, and honestly, it hits the nail on the head. Bruce Lee security, Mr. Miyagi simplicity. Think about that for a second. It's a brilliant way to frame the ultimate goal. On one hand, you need the absolute, uncompromising, hardcore protection of a martial arts master, right? But on the other, the actual user experience needs to be incredibly intuitive, calm, and approachable. It's all about taking the intimidation factor completely out of digital asset protection, without sacrificing a single drop of security. All right, let's jump into Section 1, the core wallet philosophy, balancing the tension. So there has always been this fierce tension in crypto custody. It's basically a tug of war between everyday convenience and absolute, uncompromising sovereignty. Over on one side, you have options like Tangem, which is famous for its effortless tap-to-use simplicity. Just boom, done. But on the other side, we have devices like Trezor and SeedSigner. These are known for being fully transparent, auditable, and sovereign. Well, this new concept is looking to bridge that exact gap. It wants to give you that tap-and-go ease, but backed by an architecture you can actually trust and verify. To make this happen, the document lays out a few foundational pillars. First off, the design absolutely must be open and auditable wherever practical. Second, and this is a big one, we aren't just talking about storing your assets for the next few months. This engineering is heavily focused on long-term cold storage. We're literally talking about decades here. And because of that massive timeline, native inheritance planning is built directly into the core goals. Because let's be real, true wealth preservation means safely transitioning it to the next generation, not taking it to the grave. Moving right along to Section 2, AI-driven proactive security. Now, this brings us to what is easily the most groundbreaking aspect of the whole brainstorm. We are talking about a massive shift from a reactive security model to a highly proactive AI-assisted paradigm. The source material asks a really provocative question here. Should AI actually help design our future security? For the longest time in hardware security, we've basically relied on humans finding flaws and patching them after the fact. But this concept flips that entirely on its head. It suggests using dedicated artificial intelligence to foresee the attacks before they even happen. So, how exactly does this AI improve wallet security in the background? The document notes that a dedicated AI continuously searches for new attack methods. It essentially acts as a relentless 24/7 red team. But here is the real game changer. Rather than using those findings to just push out software patches, the AI uses that data to recommend future physical hardware revisions. This is absolutely massive. Why? Because it allows designers to minimize or maybe even completely eliminate firmware updates. If you've ever held your breath while a progress bar slowly updates your hardware wallet, you know firmware updates are a huge vector for risk and user error. By having AI design better, stronger hardware from day one, you strip that risk away entirely. And the ultimate result of all that AI-driven foresight? The creation of incredibly hardened physical chips. We get a device built from the ground up with strong physical tamper resistance and a highly robust chip architecture. It's built to withstand physical and digital tampering, precisely because the AI has already relentlessly simulated those exact attacks during the design phase. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Wait, advanced AI? Is this thing going to be constantly connected to the cloud? Don't worry, the document strictly defines the hardware as offline first. That means there are absolutely no unnecessary wireless features whatsoever. The AI does all of its heavy lifting during the engineering and design process, meaning the actual piece of hardware you hold in your hand remains an impenetrable, completely offline fortress. Let's look at Section 3, simplifying the user experience. Keeping it simple and frictionless. With all that dense AI-backed security protecting the core, the actual user journey is mapped out to be as frictionless as humanly possible. Step 1 is an extremely simple onboarding process. Step 2 requires clear visual confirmation for all addresses and transactions, so you always know exactly what your wallet is doing, no guessing games. And Step 3 ensures redundant backup options for easy recovery. And what's absolutely crucial here is that this easy recovery is achieved without ever sacrificing that underlying Bruce Lee security we talked about earlier. It really forces us to reflect on a central discussion point from the brainstorm. What balance should exist between convenience and sovereignty? Historically, you kind of had to pick one or the other, right? But this conceptual wallet is incredibly ambitious. It literally aims to satisfy the strictest Bitcoin maximalists while remaining completely effortless for absolute beginners. Which brings us to Section 4, a flexible companion ecosystem. To actually cater to those wildly different demographics, the software ecosystem is designed to adapt to your specific skill level. If you're totally new to this, there will be a mobile app offering Tangam-like ease of use. But if you're a power user, they aren't going to fence you in. It features full desktop support and actually retains compatibility with advanced third-party wallets like Sparrow, Nunchuk, and Blockstream Green, wherever appropriate. Ultimately, you get to choose exactly how you want to interact with your keys. Looking ahead at future ideas, this ecosystem plans to expand significantly. For redundancy, they're planning multi-device support and a dedicated inheritance mode. And on the flip side, for entropy, which, is the randomness that secures your private keys, they're exploring advanced features like seed QR and even allowing users to generate their own randomness using dice rolls or camera data. It's a roadmap that truly, deeply honors hardcore self-custody principles. So just wrapping up this segment, the overall goal of the project is loud and clear. Create a wallet that encourages self-custody without the headache. It should feel completely invisible to the user while acting as an absolute vault under the hood. Let's move to our final part, Section 5, the future of payments. Thinking beyond just storage. Because this brainstorm doesn't stop at just storing wealth, it actually expands into daily spending. The document outlines ideas for card-based spending, kind of similar to Tenjin Pay. And interestingly, they're researching integrations with major stablecoins for your everyday spending needs, all while keeping your core Bitcoin savings completely isolated and secure. It basically creates a firewall between your checking account and your life savings, but it's all managed through the exact same secure hardware framework. This brings us to a massive question posed by the source material. Can hardware wallets become almost maintenance-free? When you combine AI-designed hardware that anticipates attacks with the elimination of constant risky firmware updates, you theoretically remove the entire maintenance burden from the user. You literally just buy it, secure it, and trust the physics of the chip. Which leaves us with this final, incredibly provocative thought to end our explainer on. If we can create self-custody hardware that is maintenance-free, incredibly secure, and capable of seamless everyday stablecoin spending, could a cheaper, self-custodial global payments network actually compete with the likes of Visa and MasterCard? It's a fascinating glimpse into the future of digital asset security. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive, and I'll leave you to ponder that exact question.